بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الحمد لله الذي نبر قلوبنا بأنوار المحبة العلوية وأكمل لنا ديننا بولاية المرتزقية وتم نعمته علينا بهداية الحيدرية ونصلي ونسلم على سيد من خلق المؤمن الحق بالحق حبيب إلهنا وطبيب نفوسنا أبي القاسم محمد
اللهم صل على محمد
صلى الله عليه وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الهداة المهديين ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين وإدابتهم إلى يوم الدين. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا. Brothers and sisters in Iman, Assalamu alaikum. Alhamdulillah, another year we have been given this opportunity, and it is an incredible opportunity that we have, and it is something that I sincerely request, especially the parents of young children, is to hang on to this. No matter how small or how big on the scale of things, it doesn't matter. It's your ikhlas that is accepted. Ahl Bayt, and in particular God, doesn't care about quantity, doesn't care about capacity, doesn't care about numbers. Because you will see in the Quran, Allah says on numerous occasions, وَقَلِيلًا مِنْ عِبَادِيَ الشَّكُورِ. That's the ibad of mine, the servants of mine, only a small number of them are grateful. So we shouldn't be too worried about numbers, and especially sometimes the youngers say, Ahl Sunnah, there are more of them than there are Shias. The majority is always right. But Rasulullah said to Salman, Ya Salman, this is a line. Rasulullah drew a line in the sand. And he said, Salman, look at this line. If one day you find Ali ibn Abi Talib standing on this side of the line, and the whole world were on the other side of the line, Salman, you go where Ali is. And this is the reality. So inshallah, we have to be extremely grateful for these majalis and having this opportunity. I just have one request from Brother Aslam Hashim, and tonight's majlis is a bit more private, VIP. I want to ask a favor from you, and inshallah you will not turn this down. When you send out the invitations and you've done the leaflets and you put on Hidayah TV and Ahl Bayt TV and all those, you write Ashra al-Vida. This I want you to change it. Why? Because first of all, we don't have Vida. Even myself, when we go to Ziyarah, when people say, come on, today's the last day, we're going back to UK tomorrow, let's go do Vida. I said, we don't have Vida because we never say goodbye. We don't have separation from Ahlul Bayt. We shouldn't go and say goodbye to them. We are physically going and living or moving to another country and getting away physically from them in terms of time and distance. But they are here. So we don't have Vida. In this earth, from the beginning of time till the end of time, there was only one Vida. And that was at Karbala, between Hussein and Zainab. That was it. There is no other Vida in this world. So I would like you to change this, Ashra al-Vida, to this, Ashra al-Muhsaniyya. Because these last 10 days are for Hazrat al-Muhsin ibn Ali alayhi salam. Because those people today while Rasulullah was still, his kafan, I say his kafan, he was buried in his robe. He was not even buried, and they were now creating the plot against Ahlul Bayt. And this is my personal belief, that when Imam Zaman comes, he's not going to come to revenge the blood of Hussein. Because we believe that the raj'at will happen. This is something that is unique to the Shias, raj'at. We believe that when Imam Zaman returns, inshallah, very soon, when he returns, he will rule approximately 17 years. The number 17 is a very interesting one, because when we look into the Quran and the story of Musa, for instance, because there's a lot of similarities between what happened to Musa and what will happen to Imam Zaman and his followers. But inshallah, we leave that for another night. But Imam will rule approximately about 17 years. Imam then will be killed. When Imam is killed, the world cannot be without a hujjat. This is the rule of Allah. Inni ja'ilun fil ardi khalifa. So while the earth is the earth, there has to be a khalif. So what will happen? Imam Hussein and his companions will return. And they will continue the imamat of Imam Zaman. That even so, it is in our traditions, Imam Hussein will do the janazah of Imam Zaman, and he will bury him next to his grave at Karbala. So Imam Zaman, he's not going to come and take revenge for the blood of Hussein. For which blood is he going to take the revenge? He's going to get the revenge for that 6-month-old baby within the womb. Hazrat Muhsin alayhi salam, his blood. And just as a side point here, you will see that the name of these children were given to them before they were even born. And this is something that we as Shias have to learn from our Imams. Because everything they did is a lesson for us, yes? We have to learn from them. That especially nowadays, everything is possible. We have the scans, you can tell the sex of the child, whether it's male or female, all these sort of things. And nowadays the technology is very advanced. So if we know what child is coming to this world, we should name that child before they are here. Traditions say, because I want to complete this tradition in full, traditions say that if a child is born and you have not chosen a name, do not name that child for 7 days, but for 7 days, if it's a boy, call them Muhammad, and if it's a girl, call them Fatima for 7 days. After 7 days, when you do the aqiqah, when you shave the hair off and kill the sheep, then name them, if you haven't chosen a name. But Ahlul Bayt are saying to us that their names were chosen before they came to this earth. And my brothers and sisters, the names we choose for our children should be the names of Ahlul Bayt. Why? Because this is in itself is a sha'a'ir of Allah. You see, sha'a'ir of Allah, what does this mean? Sha'ar in Arabic means protest. The word shu'ar comes from the word sha'a'ir. Shu'ar, even in Farsi, the word shu'ar means protest, slogan, shouting, shu'ar. So sha'a'ir of Allah means the slogans and the signs of Allah that need to be talked about loudly. We have a concept in Islam that any good deeds you do should be hidden. For instance, you pray nafilah. There's no need for you to do nafilah in a masjid in front of everyone, shout about it from the rooftops, do azan loudly for it when everyone is sleeping, because I'm doing nafilah. Or if you give in charity, Allah says give in secret. Don't go stand in front of everyone. Last year I gave £1,000 to him, £5,000 to there. I put this place, I built this hospital in this country. I've done this. This is what we call, comes from Riyah. Because this is Ra'al Nas. Allah says in the Quran, this is, you're doing it for people to see. You're not doing it for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so much so, we have a hadith that says, if you do something good, and you tell about it to somebody once, Allah will reduce the sawab of that action by 70 times. If if you then go and tell somebody about this action twice, Allah will reduce all the sawabs for it. If you tell somebody 3 times about what you have done, Allah will say to His malaika, write out sawab and write a sin for him. Because he has not done this for me. And this is because this shaitan, it likes to do these things. And you have seen that people do this. I do this, I do that, We had, there's a very, very famous Ayatollah in Iran by the name of Ayatollah Kompani. His name was Qarabi Isfahani, but he was famous as Kompani. He many divans of poetry and he was famous for his long sajdas. After every wajib namaz, he would do sajda for approximately 1 to 2 hours. One day he was at Karbala and he went to the shrine of Imam Hussein. May Allah give all of us that opportunity in this world and in the hereafter, the ziyarat of Hussein, inshallah. And as per his ways, he did his namaz. Afterwards he went into sajda. He was there for about 2 hours. When he was just about to get up from the sajda, he heard, and we call it the alam of mukashifa. It's not a dream, but it is a world that you can see things and hear things, but it's only for people who are switched on to that channel. So as he was about to get up to sajda, he saw and he heard Imam Hussein from the Zali. And Imam Hussein said to him, leave these sajdas for your house. Don't do it here in front of everybody in my shrine. These sajdas, leave it and do it in your house. Because here people are watching you. You're not doing it for that purpose, but it could be. I remember my teacher said to me that he knew somebody, he was an alim. And in Tehran, in the bazaar, there's a very famous mosque there. He used to come on time every day. And he used to be in the front line of the namaz. One day, he was late. When he came, there was no space for him in the front. So he had to go right to the back. When he got to the back, he felt a little bit upset. He said, me with this maqam, I am an alim, I have to be right at the back. He didn't like this. When he finished his namaz, he thought to himself that this was kibr, this is takabbur, that who am I? So for 17, because he was going to this masjid for about 17 years doing namaz jama'at, for 17 years after that event, he did all his namazes qaza. Because he says, those namaz were not for Allah, they were for myself, to be seen by people. So my brothers and sisters, name your children this, because when you call them, it's a zikr. Ali, come here. Zainab, Fatima, Hassan, Hussein, come here. We have in tradition that every time you say the name Hussein, Hazrat Zahra says, if you are calling your child, may Allah keep that child salamat for you. But if you are calling my Hussein, then know at Karbala, between 2 rivers, he was killed while he was thirsty. So much so that we have traditions that on the day of judgment, when they call you to come in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they will call you by your name. Fulan ibn Fulan. And it is written in many traditions that on the day of judgment, when Allah wants to save someone, and again, as a side point here, one thing I want to get, you see, all of these majalises that we are, and I've said this in many years that I've been, and I think, alhamdulillah, I think this is my 10th year I've been here. My whole mission is that we have to change the way of our thinking. We shouldn't follow what our parents and our fathers have given to us in terms of culture, and this is what we have to believe in. And no, we have to prepare the path for Imam Zaman. We have to change our thinking, change our understanding about many issues. And we have lots of issues, believe me, there are many issues in our communities. One of them is this, that when we want to teach our children to do things, we put the fear of God into them. I once went, and I'm not going to say which community they were and who they were, but it was up in Derby. They invited me one year, and Afterwards, they said, look, we've got a madrasa on a Sunday. We would like you to come and speak to the children and also watch what our teachers are teaching them. I went to one class, and this teacher was in there. And he tried to get first he tried to get the kids to listen, and that's a hard job in itself. But the way he was talking to these kids, if you don't do namaz, Allah will punish you with this. If you don't fast in Ramadan, Allah will punish you with this. If the girls don't wear hijab, Allah will burn your hair in the fires of hell on the day of judgment. If you do this, you this punishment, this punishment, this punishment. When he finished, I said, which God is this you are talking about? Because I've never heard of this God. Which God is this? I said, what are you teaching these kids? The God that we believe in is Allah Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. That's it. Allah is the Lord of mercy. You see, I have always said this as well, that if sometimes you see with Quran, because it's written in Arabic, and again this is one of our issues as well, we don't pay Quran any attention. Maybe month of Ramadan, if we get time, if we have the time, we take this Quran out, we read it in the month of Ramadan just for the sake, because it's month of Ramadan, we do the 30 safar, but we don't pay any attention to the Quran. Really, we don't pay. I'm talking about myself here. And this is the other thing, if I say anything up here, I'm talking to myself first, not to you guys. So we have to change our way of thinking about God, especially to our children. Our God is not a God of punishment. He's not a God of punishment. He is a God of mercy, and just like his khulafa, his khalifs on this earth, he wants to rescue. And he will look for the smallest excuse to rescue you. You see, I have said, if you're not going to study the Quran, okay, you might not have the time, you may not understand the Arabic, and even if we study for 60, 70 years, we can never understand the Quran, because Imam Sadiq says every ayah of the Quran has 70 apparent meanings and 70 hidden meanings. Now, which alim in the world, I mean, I have studied many of their books in Hawzas and everything. The greatest alims, maybe they can take a verse and interpret it 7 or 8 ways. That's it. Imam is saying 70. So we will never understand the Quran. So why does Allah send this book? لِيَهْدِي, Allah says, I've sent this book to guide, but no one understands it. You see? Because Allah says, وَيُعَلِّمُهُمُ الْكِتَابِ. Allah says, I have sent teachers with this book. It's like you take a book on computer coding or programming, no one will understand it unless someone teaches you. So, because we don't understand the Quran and the teachings, I just say to you, the quickest and the easiest way of doing the tafsir of the whole Quran, look at the events of the 10 days of Karbala. It wasn't even 10 days, it was about 7 days. Forget about the 7 days. Look at what happened between Fajr and Maghrib at Karbala. There you will see the whole Quran tafsir in one easy way for us to understand. When I say to you, and I put my hand on this member, and I swear to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I do not know who Imam Hussein is. I don't know who he is. I don't understand him, I don't know who he is, and I will never understand him and never know who he is. I don't know him. I really don't. Sometimes I don't believe some of the stuff I read about him. Because I think, how can someone be like this? They have killed everybody. Everybody. From morning to evening, they've killed everybody. The worst imaginable things you can imagine done to any human being, they've done to this man. And let me tell you this, you may never have heard this before, but whatever happened to the 71 at Karbala, and we all know, they all got killed in certain ways. Hazrat Abbas had his arms chopped off, Ali Akbar was cut into 40 pieces, the 6-month-old had the arrow in his throat. All of those 71, however they were killed, all of those things happened to Imam Hussein in one person. Now this man in this position, his killer, he's coming up to him, gets the sword out, Imam grabs his wrist. Shem thought Hussein has got weak. That he's saying, pleading with him, don't kill me now, please don't kill me. No! Imam Hussein smiled at him. And Shem took this so badly. He said, Hussein, you are smiling at me? I'm going to kill you and you're smiling at me? He said, Shem, that's because I want to take you with me to my grandfather Rasulullah. Can we understand this one action of Imam Hussein? Wallah, can we understand this? We can't understand this. Who does this? Who does this? Now, isn't that what Allah is going to be like? If Imam Hussein wants to forgive his killer, what is Allah going to do? Is He going to punish me for not doing this or not doing that? Or this is not the God I believe in. So we have to change our mentality towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is why they say on the Day of Judgment, when they bring a person in front of Allah, the malaika will look in his files and there is nothing to show. Nothing to show. And this guy, his head is down, he's ashamed in front of Allah. Now my files are open, there's nothing to show. Malaika say, well, there's no other option. We have to take him to the fires of hell because he has nothing to show. While he is going, they say in the riwayat, the guy keeps looking back. Allah says, why are you looking back? He says, because وَرَجَاءِ أَفْوَكَ, I lived through life with the hope that you would forgive me. So Allah says to the malaika, stop. What was his name? They say his name is Hussein. That's enough. Take him. Take him to the heavens. That is enough. The name is enough. So name your children with these names. These names then become a zikr in your houses. Even in the streets, when you shout out Hussein, everyone would know that that is a Shia name. Jabad, Kazim, Reza. So these become the sha'air of Allah. Inshallah, over the other nights, we will talk more about these things. Who is Hussein? We will have to wait for two things. One, for Imam to return, Imam Zaman to return. He will tell us who Hussein is, to an extent. The second thing is we have to wait till we die. Until we die, we will never know who Hussein ibn Ali is. These two things. So much so that the Panjtana ala Abba, the five of the Abba, we call him the Abba because of Hadith al-Kisa. Okay, you might ask why we call him ala Abba. It's because of Hadith al-Kisa. Inshallah, we will talk about this now. They all requested. Now, who were these Panjtana? The best of creation. The best of creation. Rasulullah, Amir al-Mu'mineen, Hazrat al-Zahra, Imam al-Mujtaba, and Sayyid al-Shuhada. That Allah says, everything was created for these five. Everything. Yet these five wanted one thing. All of them wanted one thing. What was that? They wanted the head of Hussein on their chest when they died. I will say to Imam Hussein, I don't have any expectations for you to come at the time of your death and place your head on my chest. And so I don't have this expectation. If you can come and bring your 3-year-old daughter with you, and she can put her feet on my head, that for me is the greatest maqam I can ever achieve in life. That's all I want from you. But Panjtan, and why do I say Panjtan? I'm not making a mistake here. All five wanted the head of Hussein on their chest. When Hazrat al-Zahra, Amir al-Mu'mineen, was doing the ghusl and he put her in the kafan, before he tied the shroud, she said, Ya Ali, one more thing before I go. Tell Hussein to come. She grabbed Hussein and she put his head on her chest. Imam al-Mujtaba, like yesterday on the 7th of Safar, when he was vomiting up the blood and the poison and vomiting up pieces of his liver, he said, Ya Zainab, go and call Hussein. When Hussein came there, he said, Hussein, bring your head and put it on my chest. Amir al-Mu'mineen, on the 20th of Ramadan, he said to everyone to go, but Hussein, you stay and put your head on my chest because I am about to leave. Rasulullah, like today, he was about to die. He said to Amir al-Mu'mineen, bring Hussein, put him on my chest, so when Malak al-Maut comes and takes my final breath, I die with Hussein on my chest. Ya ilaha illallah. Why did I say Panjtan wanted the head of Hussein on their chest? Because the fifth one was Hussein himself. At Karbala, Zainab al-Kubra says, I was standing on the Tall Zainabiyya. I looked down and I saw Shemru jalisuna ala sadrihi sharif. I looked down and I saw Shem was sitting on the chest of Hussein. This Hussein that would die when everyone was dying, he placed their head on their chest. And now he is dying in this way, with Shem sat on his chest. Allahu Akbar. When Shem cut off the head of Imam Hussein, he lifted the head up in front of the 30,000. When the 30,000 saw the head of Hussein, they all started to clap and dance and shout for joy. They all started to say Allahu Akbar, that we have won this war. Then what did Shem do? He took the head of Hussein and he placed it on Hussein's chest. Therefore Hussein also died with his own head on his own chest. Allahu Akbar. What qurbat did these Ahlul Bayt have to go through? What did this Panjtan Aula Abad go through? That Rasulullah says no other prophet out of the 124,000 has suffered as much as I have suffered in my Risalat. So much so that he said to Amir al-Mu'mineen, Ya Ali, one of my biggest sorrows is that after my death, not one of the Panjtan will be buried next to me. Ya Rasulullah, do you know the only person out of the Panjtan who had a funeral? Do you know who that person was? Rasulullah did not have a funeral. He did not have a funeral procession. The people did not come to bury Rasulullah. Like I mentioned earlier, as soon as they knew Rasulullah was dead, they were already in Saqifa, plotting about what they were going to do afterwards. It was down to Ali ibn Abi Talib to do the ghusl and bury Rasulullah in his own house. When Hazrat Zahra passed away, her last wishes was to Amir al-Mu'mineen, Ya Ali, bury me at night because I don't want anybody to come to my funeral or to my janazah. Amir al-Mu'mineen himself, he said to Hassan and Hussein, when I die, Mikael and Jibreel will come, they will take me to a grave that was prepared by Noah before time. Bury me there, Ali, but my grave will not be found for at least 100 years after my death. There was no funeral for Ali ibn Abi Talib, the Khalif of Kufa. There was no funeral for him. We all know Imam Hussein's body lay on the soils of Karbala for 3 days and 3 nights. So there was no funeral for Imam Hussein either. So who had a funeral out of these? Out of all of the Panjtan, only one person had a funeral, and that was Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba. Allah, I wish they did not carry a funeral for him, because when they came to bury his body next to his grandfather, that woman came out and said, I will not let you bury him here. Then she ordered for the people to hit the body with the arrow. That Imam Hussein says that the body of my brother Hassan resembled that of a hedgehog. There were so many arrows in the body. ألا لعنة الله على القوم الظالمين فسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون. يا رب الحسين بحق حسين اشف صدر الحسين بظهور الحجة. يا رب الحجة بحق حجة اشف صدر الحجة بظهور الحجة. يا رب المؤمنين بحق أمير المؤمنين اشف الصدور المؤمنين بظهور الحجة. السلام علينا وعلى عباد الله الصالحين. السلام عليكم.